Nation. It's been a couple days. Man, what a hell of a week of college football. College, a hell of a day of college football, right? A game for the ages. Two brilliant quarterbacks going at it. Texas A&M, South Carolina. Sellers. Everybody's talking like he's the top. Top dude coming out. So, um, hell of a game, man. But a game of two halves, right? Lenora Sellers came out hot. But coaching and defense wins footballs. A totally different game in the second half. And man, one of the best teams in college football is Texas A&M, and I don't know how they're not number one. If you look at Ohio State's schedule and you look at Texas A&M's schedule, Texas A&M should be number one in the country, man. I mean, especially after that game, bro. They've taken on some dogs, and I know South Carolina. They have their ups and downs, but that's a tough ass team. And I hope Lenora Sellers, man. I hope this kid, like everybody's saying, he decides to stay in school because if he stays in school, they have something special brewing over here in South Carolina. Not over here, but over there in South Carolina. That team, they're kind of like my Razorbacks. They've lost every single game by less than 3 points, man. I don't know how in the hell these hogs cannot win a football game, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're 2-8. My Raiders are 2-7. Nobody can win a damn football game. My Lakers are good. That's the only thing I got going for me right now. My football teams are ass, bro. Fantasy teams not doing so good. What the hell? What's going on? Shout out to everybody in the building. How's everybody doing? My camera's a bit blurry. Let me wipe it off. Let me check it out. What we got here? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? What's good? What's good? Greg in the building. Appreciate you, Greg Brewer. What's good, man? Jason Ruiz, what to do? What to do? So yeah, man. The Raiders got a tough week ahead. Monday Night Football, no quarterback, offensive line beat up. What do we do? We go with Gino, and more than likely Alex Kappa. Let me know how y'all feel. This is the question of the day. Not who do you want, but who do you feel will be the starting guard? Do you think it'll be the rookie Caleb Rogers, or do you think it'll be Alex Kappa? Do you really have faith in this team to put in, a guy that should probably be in the game? Because so far this year, I have not seen the Raiders, put in guys that should be in there, right? They've stuck with Geno Smith. They stuck with Kai Blue Kelly. And I get it. I get the loyalty, man. Look, I get the loyalty. I'm a diehard Raiders fan. I get it. But there has to be a time when loyalty and stupidity collide, right? You can't be loyal and stupid when it's blatant, right? So, got a lot of fixes, man. But I believe they'll probably go with Alex Kappa, more than likely. My gut tells me Alex Kappa's probably going to get the start. Prove me wrong, Pete Carroll. Please, please, one time this year, prove me wrong. Well, besides the record. All right, you already proved me wrong once. But yeah, man, so we got a tough Cowboys team coming up. They're giving up 130 yards on the ground. The Raiders ain't averaging anywhere near that. So it doesn't matter. A running back gets hit in the backfield absolutely every time he touches the ball. The kid can't get a break. They will not run it to the outside. They absolutely refuse to run the ball behind Stone Forsythe. And I know y'all think I'm tripping, but numbers don't lie and tape don't lie. Stone Forsythe in the run game has absolutely been one of our best linemen up there. So the fact that they don't run that way, that they don't try to get to the outside when you got a giant over there, with a huge wingspan, it just baffles me. It baffles me, right? You want to continuously run the ball up the middle into a brick wall. There's a stone wall there every time the Raiders hand off. And when you run out of the same formation every single time, I mean, I guess what do you expect, right? What do we expect? Do we expect anything different? Yeah, that's much better. I think it was the Wi-Fi. Oh, shout out. It keeps getting blurry. What the hell? I don't know. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi. It's kind of windy outside, but it shouldn't be that bad. I don't have fiber, so it's not underground. Um, but let me know, man. If it continues, I'll just end this shit. There ain't no reason to y'all sit here and watch a blurry rebel trying to talk. It doesn't make no sense, bro. So we all know about the Dallas Cowboys, man. Their offense, right? Their offense has been clicking on all cylinders. They're putting up double the points a game that we are. Our defense, on the other hand, has been, you know, up and down, up and down. They have their games, right? Holding the Broncos to 10 points was huge, I think, for us. But I just don't feel like this coaching staff has the ability to capitalize on anything that we've done good this year. And it has showed. Every time we have a good game, we have an absolutely horrible game where the bottom just falls out and it looks like the game plan is horrible. The team's not prepared. You know, nobody's hearts are in it. So my audio is great though. As long as the audio works, then just close your eyes and listen, bro. Just close your eyes. Oh shit, what am I trying to do here? Not scheduled, suck deep bro. Jeez. Go back. Alright, I'm trying to get to something. I thought I had pulled up, but it just doesn't wanna come. All right, man. I mean, so we already know, right? They got Pickens over there. They got they got a receiver that could be, you know, one of the top receivers in the NFL. If he could just hold the damn ball most of the time. There we go. Much better, much better. All right, so we got Javonte Williams. We got CD Lamb. You got George Pickens. Oh my God, you got Cavante Turpin. You got Jake Ferguson. You know, all guys we're going to have to deal with on the back end. A wishy-washy, very wishy-washy when it comes to, you know, our defensive backs every single week. You know, we don't know who we're going to get. We don't know who's going to be out there. The guys that play well seem to get, you know, pushed to the side, and the guys that struggle seem to be, you know, pushed to the front. So, but the hardest part, right? The hardest part, our defensive line has struggled. Max Crosby has not been it this year. I don't want to hear about the chips in the double team, man. It's part of football. You got to get off those blocks. If you know there's a tight end and a tackle, more than likely you're going to get double teamed. If you see a running back on that side, more than likely you're going to get chipped, right? So let him play free, bro. Like, run a stunt if they're piling to that side, right? Not all three of those guys can get there. Like, it's a game of, you know, it's a mind game. And right now we're losing the battle, bro. The coaching staff is losing the battle. The players are losing the battle. The mindset just doesn't seem to be out there consistently, right? Last week it was for the defense. The offense, I don't know where the offense was. Brock Bowers was there. Gino tried to say he was doubled. The tape says different. The tape says different. There's a lot of wide open guys that our quarterback just can't find. So for our defensive line, man, our defensive line has struggled. Like I said, Max Crosby's got what, 5 sacks. Jonah Laulu's got 4, and after that, Tyree Wilson with 2, and a couple guys with 1. So we're not getting pressures. We're not getting to the quarterbacks. We can't tackle, and of course that's a recipe for disaster against any team. But when you're going up against Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe at center, Tyler Booker at right guard, which, man, I wanted Tyler Booker last year. I mean, we needed a guard, but, you know, we weren't going to pick him that high. And then you got right tackle, Terrence Steele. And then something the Raiders should have done the whole season, the off season, and the season before. is use a fullback, man. Use a fullback. The Cowboys are old school. They have Hunter Lupicki. I don't know if you say that dude's name right, but anyways, they have a fullback. They use a fullback to get Javonte Williams out in space, right? To lead through the hole so he can do what most running backs should do in the NFL, right? Slow through or slow to fast through, right? That's the motto. Patience. You gotta let blocks develop, and Ashton Genty with that little one cut every time he touches the ball is good because he lets the blocks develop. But unfortunately, there's not too many developing. Unleashed Raider was good. Appreciate you. So, man, we got our work cut out for us. Big time. I want to see Tonka Hemingway. I want to see JJ Pegues. And I want to see JJ Pegues on offense, bro. Do I watch NASCAR? Yeah, I watch NASCAR. I want to see JJ Pegues on offense. Really, really bad. On goal lines, on first downs, we can't quarterback sneak. Our quarterback has, no, body language is absolutely horrible. What just happened to my screen over here? Time out. Trying to watch this Ty Simpson kid, and they're screwing me up. I don't know. I don't really have one anymore. I just kind of watch. Of course, everybody's favorite driver back in the day was Earnhardt, but there isn't really too many. Oh, picked off. Ty Simpson in the end zone, picked. Can't throw those. I don't really know. Of course, I like my Vegas boys, but there's so many young and up and coming drivers in NASCAR that I don't even know, a lot of their names anymore. But Unleashed Raiders, shout out for the $5 smackaroo. Am I ready for Monday night's game? Is Geno Smith the quarterback? That should answer your question, yo. Appreciate you on the $5. Are you into 3 after you go Quantum Fennec? No. I can't even say the damn word. Oh, it was called back? What? Defensive penalty? Oh, no interception. All right, man. So, yeah, we got our work cut. The Raiders got a lot of work cut out for them. They're going to have problems on this defensive line. When it comes to Jonah Laulu, right, I don't see him out there, enough to get anything going, right? You're not getting... Sorry, I just walked away from the street, man. It's not enough to get anything going. You're not out there enough, right? You need more reps. These guys, need more time to gel on the inside. Touchdown Alabama, in case anybody was wondering. Thomas Booker, man. Thomas Booker, is a run-stopping guy. We've said this from the get-go. At least I said this from the get-go. He's not a guy that gets to the quarterback or gets many pressures. He's a sideline-to-sideline guy. He stops the run. You've got guys that can stop the run, right? Tyree Wilson, put him on the inside, quit putting him on the edge. Because when he's in the middle, the guy, he's doing shit. Like, he doesn't have to be the one making the play. But the fact that he's taking on double teams, the fact that Tyree Wilson is freeing up other guys with his wingspan, right? It makes a whole bunch of difference out there. Hopefully he won't be who? Geno? Bro, Geno's going to be out there. Pete Carroll has a man crush, infatuation with Geno Smith. He thinks he's the greatest thing to walk God's green earth, kind of like Shador fans believe in Shador Sanders. The same way Chip Kelly and, Pete Carroll seem to believe in Geno Smith. The man can't do no wrong. Nothing is his fault. You could take sack after sack by holding the ball, and there's no consequences. And it could hurt this team, man. It could hurt this team. But I hope this defense just comes out and balls, because if not, man, it's going to be a long, 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 long Monday night. Another primetime game, right? The matchmakers, the schedule makers, are kicking themselves in the ass right now, saying, why did we fall for this Pete Carroll shit like the Raider fans did? Like, why are we putting the worst team in football in front of the whole world to watch Pete Carroll just drown in his misery at 74 years old as a head coach and ruin his legacy? I mean, completely. The Monday night game, the Thursday night game, both of them were ugly as hell. We scored 7 points. A game we should have totally, totally dominated. We scored 7 points. We held their team to 10 points. We couldn't get a first down. We go away from the run. We run the ball once, twice, and then we don't run the ball again for another 15, 20 plays. Man, that's not consistency. It's not consistency. When you're passing the ball 40-something times and you're running it, less than 20, that's not consistency. I don't want to hear about we were behind. I see teams in the NFL and college football that are behind and still run the football. You can't just pass every time because you're behind. You got to pick up first downs. You got to keep the defense honest. Raph in the building. What's good, my guy? You going to be live for UFC tonight? I might pull up. I might do a live for UFC myself. I don't know. Why is my sister calling me? I hope it's not important. All right. Pete Carroll should be live on a Saturday. What's going on with the Raiders? There's a live on a Saturday? Maybe because we play on Monday night, bro? I don't know, but it doesn't make sense to me. All right, so they have on defense the Cowboys, the Raiders offensive line with we don't know who it is. More than likely Alex Kappa, Smelly Cat. What's good? What's good? Appreciate you. I didn't miss you. Anything else? Maybe we'll trip on the way onto the field and twist his knee again. I mean, you shouldn't wish bad on people, bro. It's not right. But the Raiders offensive line, they had two bye weeks. 2 bye weeks, right? You had 14 days, and now you have 10 days because you played on Thursday. You play a game on Monday night. You had plenty of time to change it up. You could have had 3 padded practices and not had any more the rest of the year. I don't know how many they've had, but I know you get 14 padded practices in the NFL. So with 14 padded practices, I know they haven't used them all. We've only played 10 games. So why would I want to say your name? Send me a super chat. I'll say your name. Ain't nothing in life free. But you got guys, that are struggling. A lot of people are hating on Jordan Meredith. Jordan Meredith in the last 2 weeks has been outstanding, bro. Outstanding. And, you can see why it struggled in the first couple games. It's his first time ever playing center. He's never played the position. I think he played it a couple snaps in college. That's not enough to know the position, right? You're like the quarterback of the offense. You got to call out the defenses. You got to get the line, make sure their eyes are in the right place, seeing the right guys. There's a lot to do. He's picked it up pretty well, I will say. Lawrence, my guy. So Meredith is looking better the last couple weeks. But I want to see all these young dudes on offensive line, what we have. I want to see Charles Grant. I want to see Caleb Rogers. I want to see Dalton Flippin Wagner. DJ Glaze has struggled badly, badly. His numbers are so pathetic. It's not even funny. He would not start on any other team, and more than likely he would not even be the backup on a team right now. You could say the same about Forsythe's numbers. Dylan Parham has been up and down, but you could pretty much say the same thing about his numbers. Um, and JPJ and Meredith were, the only guys that have halfway been consistent, right? Which is not not good at all, bro. So you got Devon Ezeraka, Donovan Ezeraka, right? An absolute monster. But then behind him, you got Javon Clowney. You know, the Raiders had a chance to get Javon Clowney. He was there all. Lawrence, my guy, appreciate you. What's good? Salute to you. Jedavon Clowney, however you say it, he was there, right? He was there as a free agent. He was sitting there. The Raiders have struggled. Tyree Wilson doesn't seem to be doing it. Charles Snowden, he's up and down. He can't stop the run. He's good in the pass. Malcolm Kuntz, $12 million. Hasn't done anything to Kaylavon Chasen did more, making $2 million, $3 million last year. So the Raiders had a chance. But behind Ezeraka, like I said, is Jedavon Clowney. So you got two pretty much starting defensive ends, playing on one side. They switch him out, a lot because he's got to learn the offense. He's new. But it could be a problem, man. Could be a problem. And then a defensive tackle. They traded for Kenny Clark in the Micah Parsons deal. That's a hell of a pass by Ty Simpson. Damn. Oh, that's not Ty. Who is that? Oklahoma kid? Oh, Meter? How you say his name? Mateer? That was a hell of a pass, bro. What? Don't ever bet on the Razorbacks, bro. What do you mean? Damn. I could have told you that. They've lost every game this year by under 3 points. The defense plays well, offense sucks. Offense plays well, defense they're a carbon copy of the Raiders. Instead of the Razorbacks, they should be the Raiderbacks. Oh, Mateer for the touchdown. Good Lord. Okay. That's a hell of a run by the quarterback that's not a mobile quarterback. But damn, man, I apologize for that. Taylor Green, man. Taylor Green I keep preaching intelligence, right, at the quarterback position. Taylor Green obviously don't have it. He has all the athletic traits. He has the speed. He has the size, 6'6", has a big arm. But damn, his decision making. He had two guys wide open, and I'm sure, I don't know if you watched it or not, but if you bet on, you should have. My man had two guys wide open, completely wide open. He throws to the guy that's got three guys on him. Three, not one, not two, triple teamed. You throw to that guy. A foot away, you have a wide receiver coming across, wide open. 10 yards above that, you have a guy that nobody even seen, wide open. Taylor Green, he throws the triple coverage. You can't make this shit up, bro. I don't know what quarterbacks see on the field. It can't be that hard. Like, I played running back, not a lot, not at the college level or anything high, but all through, junior and high school. If you can't see the field, why are you playing quarterback? It makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. So, back to the task at hand, bro. We got Kenny Clark, traded in that. It just sounds funny saying Kenny Clark was traded for Micah Parsons. It just doesn't seem right. But anyways, Kenny Clark. Behind him, you got Solomon Thomas, right? A guy that could probably start on our defensive line and start on a lot of defensive lines in the NFL right now. There's all kinds of stuff behind me. And then you got Quinnen Williams, man. They traded, 2 first rounds for a defensive tackle. Former first-round pick. A guy that's going to be a stud. And he's going to be a problem, bro. He's going to be a problem. This could be a very, very long game. But stay tuned. I'm going to tell you how we beat the Cowboys. And then you got Osa. I'm not even going to say his name. You got Dante Flower Jr., Kenneth Murray Jr., You got Logan Wilson. I don't know. Man, I said all offseason, right? Go get Logan Wilson. Nah, they decided to keep him. Then they decided to trade him. And the Packers pulled the trigger. So they got damn good linebackers. At corner, you got LV-RaidersRebel, which was one of my top corners in the draft. You know, I don't know if I would have took him over Dante Porter Jr., but I do know. I do know who I would have took over him. But anyways, you know, hasn't really got out there too much. But a guy that can make plays, turn a game around in an instant, LV-RaidersRebel. You got Deron Bland, who is, you know, lights out. Marquise Bell, Donovan Williams. So, man, the Cowgirls have one hell of an offense, one hell of a defense. You know, they got a new young coach in Schottenheimer, but it's not gonna be long until Duke picks it up. Did I say Schottenheimer? So what's good with y'all, man? What's happening on this Saturday? We're waiting for this damn Pete Carroll press conference to start. We are trying to see what Pete Carroll has to say before the game. Before the game. But whatever it is, it's going to be stupid unless he, you know, comes and says he's stepping down, which would be the greatest thing in Raiders history at this moment right now. You know, to watch Pete Carroll get up there and just destroy his legacy, destroy his integrity, destroy his pride, his character, and anything else you can destroy every time you step up behind that podium and just talk nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Like, it doesn't even make sense. When they ask him a question, he starts talking about something else. He don't even want to talk about the question. Man, Ty Simpson is a dog, bro. Good Lord, that's a hell of a throw too. Raider Ryan, what's good, man? Appreciate you. How was your week? That's a nice catch. Sounds like Donald Trump. Who sounds like Donald Trump? You know, I don't sound like Donald Trump. Ty Simpson in the gun. Looks left. Throws. Caught. That took a half a second, bro. Half a second. But anyways, man, let's get into this. How I believe the Las Vegas Raiders upset the Cowboys, who are coming for a takeover. Had a good week, but the weekend is even better. Nice. Hell yeah. That's what I want to hear. Some positivity, right? Some positivity in a world where there is none right now. None. Absolutely no positivity. Shout out. Glad you had a good week. Glad you had a good weekend. Hopefully next weekend starts out better, you know. The O-line must give Geno time. Geno still had the second most time in the NFL to throw the football this year. Second most. When he's had time to throw the football, he has been horrible. He has absolutely been better under pressure when he's rolled out, and that's the only time he's been good. So I don't see this offensive line giving him any more time to throw than he had with Colton Miller, than he had with JPJ, right? The problem with the Raiders is all their plays take too long to develop. They all take too long to develop. Brock Bowers' touchdown was a 10-yard, you know, a 10-yard post route, 10 yards and slant, right? All of our big plays have been mesh plays. Two guys running one way, a guy running another way, get everybody confused, hit the open man. Geno can't even do that. But if the Raiders could just get the ball out in less than 3 seconds, I'm not asking for a miracle. 3 seconds. I mean, look, how long does it take to stand at the line, look at your receivers, look at the coverage, right? If you know your guy's slanting, if you know your guy's running an out, if he's running a drag, bro, like, blue 52, boom, you got the ball, you're looking at your guy, he's not there, you throw the ball. Like, Geno wants to look back. Like, he thinks he has the best offensive line in football, and that is our problem, man. I'm watching college football, right? Because that's what we do every Saturday. I'm not seeing anybody hold this ball longer than 3 seconds. Not even for the big plays. When it's a go route, the quarterback is still throwing the ball. When the dude's on the 15-yard line, right? He's letting the receiver run under the ball. That means the quarterback trusts his receivers, right? They have chemistry, they have timing. Geno doesn't trust anybody. He doesn't trust his arm. He doesn't trust his receivers. He doesn't even trust Tyler Lockett when he double pumped in the end zone. So with Geno in the game, bro, our chances are very, 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 very small. Now, if you activate Aiden O'Connell, right, we have a way better chance of winning this game. He makes quicker decisions. He's more decisive with the football. His pre-snap reads are 100% better. Kenny Pickett, same thing, man, same thing. Their stats are night and day. So if I'm the Raiders, and I'm Pete Carroll, and I know my job is in jeopardy. I mean, it's obvious your job is on the line, and you don't have a lot of time, right? You know, Pete Carroll said in his press conference, not this one that's coming up, but in his last press conference, it's only a matter of time before we do something well. You're 74 years old. Father Time is not on your side, Pete Carroll. We don't have a matter of time, bro. We're going into week 10, and this team looks worse every single week. The defense has looked okay. I contributed that all to Patrick Graham. He's calling the plays, right? He's putting them in the right position. Pete Carroll's not doing anything. He's just saying, this is what I want you to run. This is what I want, the guys on the field. Patrick Graham is making those decisions. Damn good footwork. Wow. But then you threw a horrible ball. What the hell? Yeah, the O-line, it's going to look different. It's going to be worse, right? Because if we're being honest, to me, this is my opinion, I believe Caleb Rogers is more of a run tackle, right? He played tackle in college. You're moving him over to guard. He's physical, he's big, he's strong. He does better in the run game, right? He should have been out there the whole time. Forsythe does better in the run game. If it was me and I'm the coach, Caleb Rogers is listed as the backup left guard, not right guard, right? I know JPJ is hurt, but Caleb is listed. Hold on, let's listen to this. Can y'all hear this? Shit. That's just another boring ass press conference. Appreciate you. But if you look at this offensive line, man, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, damn, touchdown Alabama. Whew. I'm looking at this offensive line and I'm saying, Jordan Meredith can play both sides, right? He can play left or right. He can play center. You got him at center. They're not going to put Will Putnam in, which, I'd give it a shot just to see if it changes anything, right? But you got Meredith at center. If you put Dylan Parham on the other side, where he's played very well at right guard, that is his best position at right guard. His stats are 9% to 18% higher in blocking and pass blocking. He don't give up as many pressures. He doesn't give up as many sacks on the right side. So why is he on the left side? Caleb Rogers has been practicing on the left side. Put him on the left side. Put him next to Stone Forsythe. Stone Forsythe has been our best offensive lineman when it comes to running the football. And you run behind those two monsters. Consistently run behind those two monsters. You don't go away from the run game, because you run it one time, you pass it 4 times, you run it again, it doesn't work. You pass it 15 times, you run it again, it doesn't work. No, you have to do it consistently. First down every single time, second down every single time. One or the other, right? Pick one. It doesn't have to be first, second. But if they come out and they run the ball and they establish the run game and they get physical at the offensive line, they have a damn good chance of beating the Dallas Cowboys. But they have to get the ball to the outside. You have to get outside, right? All their depth, all their strength for the Dallas Cowboys is right there bunched in the middle. Those 4 guys up front and the 2 linebackers behind them are a big, big problem. And the corners cover well also. So if you can stretch the field, right? Get those corners back 10, 15 yards and run the ball to the outside, I think the Raiders win this game. But they need to have at least minimum 15 carries to the outside. Yes, you can run up the middle, but you have to have at least 25 runs in this game. If you run the ball 25 times in this game, I believe the Raiders walk away with a dub. If they don't, they come back and talk to me. We might have a giveaway, but I really, really feel like 20 times, 25 times, bro. If you run the ball 25 times with Raheem Mostert, not just Ashton Genty, because the kid's going to get tired. They talk about they want to use him sparingly, right? They want to keep him fresh for this second half that Pete Carroll swears up and down. We're going to hit the ground running, and, it's all out now, bro. It should have been all out from day 1 and day 2. So that's my recipe. Damn, nice play again. That's my recipe to beat the Cowboys. It comes down to our defense, obviously, which has been doing well. But run the ball, bro. Run the ball. Establish a physical presence. This is the Raiders. We're a historical franchise. We're known for being physical. We're known for being brutal. We're known for that shit. Not anymore. And I've said it before too. Maybe Chip Kelly is not in sync with Brendan Carroll being the offensive line coach. Maybe he knows this offensive line is not being coached well enough to run the football, right? You have not only Brendan Carroll, but a lot of people are overlooking the fact that Nate Carroll is not just the assistant. He is not just the assistant offensive coordinator. He is in charge of personnel. That means who comes out of the game, who goes in the game, that's another Carroll, right? Nathan Carroll. He decides who starts, who goes where, who goes to the other side. That is what Pete Carroll has given him the responsibility of. And that, I think, is a big problem. Big problem. I believe that has been a bigger problem than Brendan Carroll on the offensive line is Nathan Carroll, bro. He has experience calling plays. He has experience being an offensive coordinator. But when the man was on his own, he was fired in the first year. Brendan Carroll, same thing. When they're not with Pete Carroll, they don't last long at their positions. Why are they still in the building? This was a horrible mistake. Am I a Raider fan? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Nah, I just got it tattooed on me. So yeah, man. Geno Smith has been okay, not good, because the interception to Genty, which everybody blamed on Ashton Genty, oh, he's got to catch that. No. When you have a bullet, and if you've never played football, then you don't know what it's like to have pads on, to have a helmet on, to be running full speed one way and have your quarterback throw the ball behind you when you're going in another direction. So when you're reaching back like this and you're at an angle, it's hard to catch the ball. But the main problem is he threw that shit 100 miles an hour. That was the hardest ball I've seen him throw all year. Like, there's no touch. All he had to do was go. That's it, bro. That's it. It was a 5-yard throw, 10-yard throw. All you got to do is flick the wrist, and Genty's walking in for a touchdown. But the problem with that was not only did you throw the ball way too hard to Ashton Genty, I'm not bueno, what's good, but you had Brock Bowers, your number one target, that you said was doubled. They did a great job of doubling him. You had Brock Bowers wide open, tiptoeing. You never even looked over there. He said, hike, look this way. And as soon as he looked that way, you got two receivers carrying that way, right? They took the defenders. You got Brock Bowers with Genty following him on a drag. And he never even looked back the other way. Rosetown, what's good? So, this is not all the offensive line. It is bad, horrible decision-making from a quarterback when you have guys open and you just have tunnel vision, right? When you say, when the ball hits your hands and you look this way and then you just lock in on the next receiver, it's bad, bro. It gave the defender time to break. So, my plan is, man, quick passes, right? If you're going to throw to Genty, not over the middle of the field. It takes too long for a running back to come all the way around, right, to get back to the middle of the field. It takes less time to just take a couple steps and hit the dude in stride, right? And if the Raiders can do that, if they can get Genty the ball in stride, if they can get Big Michael Mayer the ball in stride, Brock Bowers the ball in stride, Trey Tucker, Tyler Lockett, if you can hit these guys when they're on the run, instead of making them stop and, reach back for passes or jump for passes, when you lose your feet, you lose momentum, right? So if your quarterback cannot put the ball where it needs to be, man, you're going to struggle, whether you're a rookie, right? Whether you're a 15-year vet, or whether you're a 40-year-old head coach, it doesn't matter. You're going to struggle. This Ty Simpson kid looks better every time I see him, man. Every time I see him. What's good? What y'all doing, man? Gino just holding on to the ball too long. Way too long. When you have a bad offensive line, you could talk all this shit, all this trash about, oh, we need to do better, and, they're not blocking. The offense, guys are making, bad plays, holding calls, bad chip blocks. That's coaching. That is all coaching. For Pete Carroll to sit up there and say, oh, if those guys were veterans, that would have never happened. Bullshit. Bullshit. You have a veteran quarterback making more mistakes than anybody on the team consistently, play after play after play. And he touches the ball more than anybody on the field, but he makes the most mistakes. I didn't hear Pete Carroll say, well, if that was a rookie quarterback, that would have never happened. but that's the case, bro. If it was a rookie quarterback, that shit would have never happened. Never happened. And, man, I talked about this. I talked about it the day he was hired. I said our biggest problem to worry about this season is not if, when Geno struggles, will he be pulled? And I told y'all, this was going to be our downfall. It was going to be going two ways. Geno was going to suck and Pete Carroll wouldn't pull him, or we were going to win a lot of games and Geno was going to be great. Well, we got the other version, bro. And we all knew what was going to happen. At least if you followed this channel, we said it a million times, bro. The favoritism has been there in Seattle. It's been there, with the Patriots. It was there the one year in the Jets. If you look at Pete Carroll's teams at USC, he had his guys that played every single snap, right? They're out there constantly. If you look at it right now, You got Jamal Adams, um, Jeremy Chin. These guys are playing more snaps than Max Crosby right now, which Max is out there every time. But I mean, pass or run plays, and they're not making plays. You got the same guys out there, not making plays, and you continue to go. This shit just make no sense, bro. It make no sense. Um, exactly, bro. Knowing we got a bad O line, get the ball out fast, right? It's not rocket science. Gino's been in the league 13 years. Cut him some slack. I know, my bad, bro. I'm just always ragging on Gino. Poor Gino. Poor Gino. We need a young quarterback that can throw, that can go through the progressions fast and knows how to move around in the pocket. We have one of those. Y'all wouldn't listen to me, bro. How many times, like I tell y'all, if we had Aiden O'Connell playing for the last 2 years, you know how many free agents we could pay with the 71 million we gave Gino, with the 25 million we gave Gardner Minshew, with however much money in the fifth round pick we paid for Kenny Pickett. Like, all this money wasted when all you had to do was put in Aiden O'Connell, who has won more games than any quarterback that we've had since Derek Carr. Spot starts here and there. He had one season, his rookie year, where he outplayed every quarterback in that draft class, and they benched him. This is where we're at, bro. This is why we are bad. 1.4 million you could have paid a quarterback that could have done way better than Gino. Aiden O'Connell in 20 games don't have 12 interceptions. Matter of fact, he has 11 in 17 starts in 20 total games. Aiden O'Connell has 11 interceptions to 20 touchdowns. That's a nine swing difference between touchdowns and interceptions. Geno Smith, on the other hand, Geno Smith has 27 interceptions in the last 2 years. 2 years. 27. That is more than most quarterbacks have in their career. 27, bro? And we thought we was going to win with this dude. And we was going to put, oh my God, I don't know what I was thinking. I knew I was thinking. If we got the best Geno ever, we would win. But if we would have went with Aiden O'Connell, man, Aiden O'Connell, you could have brought in another defensive tackle. You could have brought in a top dog corner. Not just this year, but last year. For 2 years, we could have had two rosters and 2 off seasons built around a quarterback that is better than Geno in his sleep. Like, in his sleep. Again, I encourage y'all, swallow your pride, go on YouTube, put in Aiden O'Connell's top plays and look at those throws, and then put in Geno's and be like, what the hell? What were we doing? What were we doing? A guy that moves better in the pocket, literally. Aiden moves better in the pocket. He has a better ticker. He has better pocket awareness. He makes better decisions. And we paid a guy, we're going to end up paying him $50 million if we cut him next year. It'll be $57 or $54 million for a quarterback to throw 12 interceptions in 10 games, 9 games. 9 games? Golly, jeez. Holy shit. Aiden was the way, man. I told you. Arnie Garza, what's good? Bueno, we will get better. How? Do you really trust this? Like I said again, I can just say the same thing. I'm on repeat on this channel. You can't trust this staff to draft a quarterback with what they've done with Aiden O'Connell. When you look at the games he's played, when you look at the games he's could have won us, when he didn't have no running game, when he didn't have no defense, but he put up 280 yards and 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. When you look at those shit, and he's still not in the game and Geno's still out there, and we're like, oh, but we'll get a first-round quarterback. They're going to miss on that too. They're going to miss on that too. There's no way they don't. Question, who is your next coach fired? Who is your X Factor for Monday Night Football, player or coach? My X Factor for Monday Night Football, it's gotta be Genty, bro. It's gotta be Genty. When the Cowboys are giving up 135 yards a game on the ground, you got to take advantage of that. But on the other hand, they went and got Quinnen Williams, so they got some shit in the middle. It's got to be our two rookies, bro. It's got to be Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. This game, the next game, in every game until they're not Raiders, you have the best talented tight end in all of football. You got to get him the ball. It doesn't matter if he's covered. Have we seen the amazing plays that Brock Bowers makes when covered, when double teamed? Like, we've seen him jump overhead, steal shit off the top of people's helmets. We've seen him catch the ball, just pluck it out with one hand like it's nothing. Why is Geno afraid to throw Brock Bowers the ball? If we get Brock Bowers involved early and Ashton Genty early, it opens up guys like Tyler Lockett, Trey Tucker for a deep pass, Dante Thornton if he could catch it. So I don't know. X Factor. My X Factor is Geno Smith, bro. My X Factor is Geno Smith. If Geno plays halfway decent, I think the Raiders win this game. If Geno doesn't turn the ball over, if he can pick up first downs, if he can distribute the ball, the Raiders win. If Geno's the same Geno, timid, scared, the Raiders don't have a chance. The Raiders don't have a chance. My X Factor is Pete Carroll comes to his senses at the end of the first quarter when the Raiders haven't picked up a first down or done shit, and you put in Kenny Pickett or Aiden O'Connell. that's the X Factor. That needs to be our X Factor. He hasn't even hit his prime yet. Who? We need to get Arnie in the press room asking questions. He gets straight to business, right? Why aren't you a reporter, Arnie? Why aren't you a reporter, dog? Makes way more sense. Geno still got another 10 years to play. Brady didn't retire till 45. Brady was a GOAT. Geno's a piece of shit. There's a big difference. And for anybody, I'm not going to say names, but for anybody to say that Geno Smith is a great person and come on, bro. I've seen his interviews. I've heard the dude talk. There's no way you can say that dude is great at anything. So, Geno Smith ain't playing 45 years old. He can't run. He's not mobile. He can't see the field. The dude is blind. All of a sudden, he's wearing glasses in a press conference. Why do you need glasses in a press conference? What are you reading? Are they holding up a card on this is what you say when we ask a question? What is really going on in these press conferences, bro? Like 100%. How in the hell does Geno need glasses in a press conference but not on a football field? That dude ain't got another year. He wouldn't even be a quarterback in the NFL if it wasn't for Pete Carroll. And I'm willing to put anything on this, which can't do nothing now, but I guarantee you, if the Raiders were not stupid and didn't trade a third-round pick for Geno, Geno would have been cut. Geno would be a free agent right now. And I don't think any team would be willing to take a shot at Geno. And I can guarantee you, on everything, there is not a team in the NFL that would pay Geno $30-something million in a season. The Seattle Seahawks laughed at him, bro. They literally laughed in his face when he said he wanted an extension. They were like, nah, bro. nah, bro. So, Geno would not even be a quarterback in the NFL if it wasn't for this love affair with Pete Carroll. AOC on another team next year. Who would you draft as a quarterback next year? It just depends, man, on who comes out. Lenora Sellers, Ty Simpson. More than likely, these dudes are going to stay in football, right? you'd be a clown to come out of college football and enter the NFL and be a number one pick or a number two or a number three or a five or an 8 or a 10, and play for these shitty ass teams making garbage money when you can make more money playing in college football, going to frat parties, still drinking, partying every night, doing whatever you do, hanging out with your boys, right? Why would you leave college football for the NFL? It makes no sense right now. To me, college football is better than the NFL right now. It's a better place to be. It's way more fun to watch. The coaching is better. The play calling is better. The defense could use some help, but college football to me is way more exciting than the NFL right now. Like, more people need to get on the college train, bro. Like, there's so many kids that are talented, that are fun to watch, and you get to the NFL and you get a big ass bag, and then they don't want to play no more. They're like, oh shit, I got paid. Fucking just retire right now, right? Who can't retire on $30 million or $15 million? I mean, it makes no sense. So there is a very big possibility that I think the Raiders have till Thursday. If I'm not mistaken, the Raiders have till Thursday, I do believe, to put Aiden O'Connell on the roster, to put him on the practice squad, or to release him. They didn't trade for him. What are you going to do with Aiden O'Connell? You have a quarterback that has thrown for 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and has only taken 24 sacks in 20 games. And he's not your starter? You can't make this shit up, bro. It makes no sense. So I do believe the Raiders have until Thursday to make a decision with Aiden O'Connell. They have to put him on the roster, which means Kenny Pickett gets cut, that we gave a 5th round pick for. I don't think that's happening. Somebody on the roster is taking a spot, and maybe the Raiders have three quarterbacks on the roster going into the next game against the Broncos? Who do we play next? Shit, I don't know. But there is a very big possibility that AOC gets traded. And just like every guy that the Raiders have released, cut, traded away, he's just going to be better than everybody we got in the building. I mean, everybody we get rid of is. So I wouldn't put it past, the Raiders being stupid and somehow just letting Aiden O'Connell walk, because Pete Carroll and his pride knows that if Aiden O'Connell ever steps foot in the game, he gets Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, and Chip Kelly fired. I guarantee you, in the first game, they're going to be like, wait, why wasn't there a quarterback battle in camp? Raider Knight, salute, appreciate you. All reads always lead back to AOC. All roads. I mean, for the last 3 years, it has, right? Anytime shit goes awry, bring in Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell gets hurt. He comes in his first game and throws for 340 yards and 2 touchdowns against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. No turnovers. They lose because of a botched snap. The press conference, Aiden O'Connell says, that's all me. That's all me. It's all me. He takes responsibility for his rookie center. He doesn't say, I clapped, I hiked the ball, but I have a rookie center that's learning, and this is a learning process, and we're all learning together, right? So, if I didn't have a rookie out there, this would have never happened. No, Aiden O'Connell, who didn't clap, was looking this way when the ball was hiked, put it all on his shoulders. Said, that's my bad. That's my bad. I got to do better. That's who I want as my leader. That's who I want as my quarterback. Not a dude that's been in the league for 13 years and still needs practice after week 9 in a 31-0 blowout. Not a guy that comes up there and throws Jack Besh under the table, Ashton Genty, your 6th overall pick, under the table. Dante Thornton under the table. This dude has thrown everybody under the table. His offensive lineman, Aiden O'Connell, has never, ever once said anything bad about any of his players, coaches, blamed anybody. I don't know how this dude is not in the game, bro. I just don't understand it. It's a bumpy ass road night. Shit, right? You get Gardner Minshew plays 6 games, Aiden plays 1, gets hurt. Gardner Minshew plays 1 game. They try to go with Ritter. That doesn't work. It was a pretty decent game in my opinion. I would have stuck with Ritter, but they decided to go back with Gardner. That doesn't work. You go with Aiden O'Connell. He comes in, plays good, gets hurt. You go back to Gardner, and then Aiden comes in and wins 2 games at the end of the season that we should have lost, and screws up our draft picks. It's probably why they won't put him in now. They're probably on the down low. Really, have already thrown this season, man. I mean, if you look at the plays Geno Smith makes, it really looks like you have to do that shit on purpose to be that bad. Like, you cannot be an NFL quarterback on a roster and play that bad. You can't. You can't hit a guy that's open. You can't hit a guy that's covered. You throw the ball on the ground on 3rd and 8 instead of trying to run. When you take off running, you take a step and fall down. Please don't hit me, Chad. This shit is crazy. Rebel with a poor offensive line. What kind of offensive play calling does Chip call? We've had a poor offensive line, not above par, but under par all season. And he's called the same shit. Screenplay, trips to the left, trips to the right, run 2 guys out of your trips 20 yards down the field. Like, the play calling has not been great. The quarterback has not been great. The offensive line has not been great. The offense as a whole has not been great. But I guarantee you, if you put a quarterback in, it doesn't matter who, but if you put a different quarterback in that has a different change of pace, that has a different mindset, right? That is not afraid to take chances and throw the ball down the field, this Raider team could be okay. It really could. The way the defense was playing with Brock Bowers, 2 weeks ago with 3 touchdowns, when you have weapons like that and you make $6 million and you can't find a way to use those weapons, you shouldn't be getting paid to make any money, bro. Any money. Would rather play Geno on 1 leg than Kenny Pickett. Why? You want to know why? I'll tell you 100,000 times. This is why. Exactly why. If Kenny Pickett comes in that game and he wins that game, Pete Carroll does not have any excuses he can make to start Geno the following week. It's done. The Geno experiment is washed. The only reason Pete Carroll put Geno Smith back out there is for that reason. The Raiders had a chance to put in Kenny Pickett. If he could have moved that offense and just got us a field goal, we tied the game, right? But if he could have moved the offense and got us a touchdown, Kenny Pickett wins that game, and Pete Carroll is fired. I guarantee you, because they're going to be like, wait a minute. This dude hasn't played 1 snap. He comes in and moves the offense better than Geno Smith, who we're paying $30 million to. So it had nothing to do. Appreciate you. Tracy69, appreciate the subscription. It has nothing to do with Geno, whether he was healthy, whether he was on 1 leg. It was all pride by Pete Carroll. He doesn't want to see Aiden O'Connell come in and possibly do better. He doesn't want to see Kenny Pickett possibly come in and do better, because it makes him look like an idiot. It makes him look like a dumbass trading a 3rd round pick for a washed up backup quarterback that was going to be a backup again if he didn't trade a 3rd round pick for it. That's why. That's 100% why, bro. D even said, you waited to throw the ball. When I'm not double covered, I wouldn't get targets. Give Bowers the ball. Yeah, right? If you didn't throw the ball to me when I was covered, you would never throw the ball to me. Devontae Adams quote. That should be a Brock Bowers legendary quote, right? He's not. He's never covered, bro. And I know a lot of wide receivers think, I'm never covered. Brock Bowers is never covered. Even with 3 guys on him, I've seen him make catches somehow, some way. Geno's confidence is just trash, bro. It's just trash. Geno's confidence took a shit. Well, I mean, when you're standing up here yelling, that's why they bring me the big bucks. I do this shit, ninja. That's why they make me the big bucks. When you think you're that dude, and then you get, pow, smacked in your mouth with a piece of humble pie, 3 interceptions. It's like, yeah, your confidence is gone, bro. And he's not going to get it back. When you stand up here and talk like an arrogant piece of shit that you are, and I'm sorry, but I just can't stand the dude. You're arrogant. You think everything is everybody else's fault but yours. He's never taken responsibility for one thing. He'll say, I need to get better, but we have rookies and it's a learning process. How do you say I need to get better and take a little bit of responsibility, but then flip that responsibility like a narcissist and blame it on everybody else? So he has no confidence. It's done. It's been done. And you can't play with a quarterback like that. You can't play with a quarterback like that. But at least we'll have another, good draft pick, top position. But I don't feel it's a quarterback, and I'll get to that in a minute after I answer these questions. Question, should we start or play rookies and second-year players? Lockett, Kappa, Smith, benched? 100%. 100%. And I'm at that point right now where, I'd play Max Crosby sparingly. I'd say, look, I'm sorry. I don't care how much money you make. I'm the coach of this team. And you're going to do what the fuck I say. And if I say sit down, you're going to sit down. I don't care how much money you make. That's a coach's job. And Max Crosby, with his back and his knee, he shouldn't be out there 100% of the snaps. He shouldn't be out there 90. He shouldn't be out there, maybe 80, 85. But when you're 2-7, come on, bro. You're not going to turn it around. There's nothing to fight for. And Pete Carroll has this delusion in his head that the Raiders still have something to play for. I guess like he did at the beginning of the season, right? He thought that, we were going to be a 12-5 team. He didn't care if teams knew what we were doing. It didn't matter, right? All that, all that smoke he gave us. So, yeah, bench Geno. I wouldn't bench Tyler Lockett. I think his route running really helps us, as much as I hate to say it. He's been open out there, right? He's, he's making the defenses at least know that, hey, there is a guy that we could possibly throw, he could possibly throw the ball to that's going to make plays, that knows, how to pick guys, how to screen guys without getting in trouble. And I think Tyler Lockett has helped a little bit, right? He don't have the same speed, but Geno's right on one thing, right? He does have the intelligence. He has played, a whole bunch of snaps. And I think Tyler Lockett is helping. I just don't think it's helping Geno. I just don't think it's helping Geno. But Kappa would not be in the game plan. Kappa would not be in the game plan. I would make sure I called up some of these young guys just in case, right? I would make sure Dalton Wagner was on this roster. I would make sure J.J. Pegues was on this roster. And I would be practicing every single practice him being a fullback on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Hell, even on 3rd and 4, if you give J.J. Pegues the ball, you're not going to tackle that dude. You see in the South Carolina, the South Carolina game, the big defensive tackle scooped up the ball. The dude had 6 dudes trying to bring him down. He was just walking to the end zone. They couldn't get him down. Nobody took out his feet. When you got a big man like that that's athletic and mobile, you got to use them. And this coaching staff has not used the players, in the right positions. They have not given them the opportunity to succeed. When you're sitting on the bench, right? When you're watching the game from home, I know J.J. Pegues every single week has got to be going, damn, I could have made that tackle. Man, I could have moved the body and got Ashton Jeanty through that hole, right? He's watching game film going, damn. But yeah, if it's me, and I don't care, Dallas Cowboys or not, right? We hear in the NFL all the time, next man up, next man up. Stand on business. Be a man. Practice what you preach. If you say next man up, why is your injured ass quarterback out there? Why is, guys that are struggling and Kai Blue Kelly, Dylan Parham off and on, DJ Glaze the biggest, right? That outside has been horrible. The outside has been absolutely horrible. I would pull DJ Glaze. I wouldn't pull him. I'd let him start, but I'd bring Dalton Wagner up. I'd stand his big 6 foot, 330-pound ass on the sideline and tell DJ Glaze, the first pressure you give up, the first sack you give up, you're sitting your ass on the bench, bro. We're going to bring in somebody else. We're going to give in guys that give us a chance to win. Pete Carroll doesn't want to do that. He's loyal to a fault. He's loyal to a fault. And the fault is you're loyal to the wrong guys. You're loyal to the wrong guys, bro. But they are stupid. Rip it and flip it. Gino is the GOAT. Why he never wrote back? That dude can't even write. They said we're not that dumb, but you know who is? The Raiders. Question, PG just wants to win. Chip loves Jacoby Meyer. Chip loves Jacoby. Those Lions can't run. Play protected. Rebel, what is your game plan for Monday Night Football? The game plan is simple. You get Ashton Genty in space to the left side, right? To the left side. That's where Forsythe should be. That's where I would put Caleb Rogers. I would move Dylan Parham over, next to DJ Glaze because he's a veteran, right? You don't want to put a struggling tackle next to a rookie that's never played before in the NFL, who's never taken a snap in the NFL. And if the Raiders do that and Pete Carroll does that, I'm sorry, Raiders Nation, but you can't continue to keep this man in the building, bro. If you're not smart enough to realize as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, as an offensive coach, offensive line coach, that you have a struggling tackle that struggled all year, the worst thing you could possibly do is put in a rookie, Caleb Rogers, next to him, right? Now, it may help, but having that rookie is not going to help his confidence. Having Alex Kappa over there probably would help his confidence, but it's not going to help the team any. The best thing the Raiders could possibly do is move Dylan Parham to where he used to play on the right side. Give DJ Glaze somebody that he's used to working with, that he knows is going to make his block, right? Is going to read the right read. If you're running an outside zone, you're not running power and going straight up. You're running the zone. Everybody's going the same way, right? If you're running inside zone, if you're doubling the right man. DJ Glaze, I think, would play a hell of a lot better if he had faith in the guy next to him. You see, when JPJ is out there, Glaze is better. When JPJ is not out there next to him, DJ Glaze has struggled, even more. So do the right thing. My God, put the veteran, which 4 years in the NFL, right, is a veteran to me. Put the veteran Dylan Parham next to DJ Glaze. Put the rookie next to Forsythe, right, another veteran in between Meredith. And let's run the damn football. Run the football, run the football, run the football. The game plan should be no less than 25 touches. No less. And I'm going to tell you right now, if the Raiders run the ball less than 25 times in this game, they lose. They lose. Because we're not taking advantage of the defense's weakness, which is the ground game. They give up more yards than almost any team in the NFL. So you got to take advantage of other teams' weaknesses and run the ball, man. Run the ball, run the ball. And once you do that, we have weapons galore. I just don't know if we have a quarterback that can hit to him. New glasses, Rebel? No, I couldn't find my other ones. I need some new ones, though. I got to get some cool ones. I need something like this that I can see with. Like this. So much cooler, right? So much cooler. But yeah, they're helping a little bit. Questions, do you think We are cursed since we traded Gruden. I think we're cursed since we moved to Vegas. I think the Vegas curse, man. The football gods did not like a team going to the NFL, the betting capital of the world, ruining betting, right? Because now it's online, now it's everywhere. It ruined the sports book. It's ruining football. It's you know, I think that was it. I think that was it. I think Vegas was not a place for us. And I know we were bad before Vegas, but we had fans. We had fans that packed the stadium every single game. Whether we were shit, whether our quarterback was shit, they still packed the stadium, right? You could smell weed and piss and shit in the air. I think it's Vegas, man. I think it's Vegas. And I don't know if they're cursed. I just think I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's a curse. I think it's just stupidity. I think it's stupidity. I've said this and I've said this and I've said this my whole life. No matter who's in charge, whoever is in his ear is the wrong person. And it's been the wrong person year in and year out. Only two quarterbacks I consider next year is available is Mendoza and Sayin. And maybe Notre Dame State quarterback Marcus covered that was Cam Miller's backup. I'm not sure about the Sayin. I mean, I like the kid. I think he has potential. But when you look at the quarterbacks from Ohio State, with the run game they have, with the defense they have, with the offensive weapons they have, are their quarterbacks really that good? Or is it just a product of the team? That's what I question. Because, I mean, look at Justin Fields in the NFL. Bro. Look at, we haven't seen Will Howard yet. Maybe we'll see him this week. I've been rooting. Will Howard should start over the veteran, but we'll see. So, I mean, I like Sayin. I like Mendoza. I really, really like Ty Simpson. Alabama doesn't have a great run game, but this kid still just continues to find ways to win games. I like the Carr kid. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Carr kid. I like Sorby. I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft. People are sleeping. Look, 2 years ago, everybody said, okay, there's three first rounders, and everybody else is going to be, second, third round. They took 6 damn quarterbacks in that draft. So when I look around the NFL, when I look at the scouts that scout these quarterbacks, I don't have faith in none of them, dude, really. Like, none of them get it right. None of them get it right. You had 24 teams pass on Jackson Flippin' Dart. That says what's wrong with football, with scouting, is these dudes don't give a shit, right? You have too many guys that are there for a paycheck that don't care about these kids, that don't do their homework, that don't interview them and get to know their parents or their character, how they were raised, how they grew up. Not everybody that, came out the mud has great character, right? It's just the way it is. So, I don't know. But that would be funny as hell to see Cam Miller's backup drafted by the Raiders. He's going to be forced to sit all year on IR. I don't think they do that to the kid. I mean, I'll take that back. They probably, you're right. You're right. You're right. Rebel, what is AOC's record in those 22 games? It's only 20 games, and I think it's 7-9. It's 7-9. But let me ask you this, Arnie Garza. What is Aiden O'Connell's record when they have a team that rushes over 100 yards? It's 6-1, right? If you go back and watch every Aiden O'Connell game, which I have 500 million times, he's never lost us a game. Never. He's never lost us a game. He's made stupid interceptions when he's had a chance to come back and win the game, but that's not losing us the game. That's a game you're already behind in, and your quarterback's trying to bring you back, and he made a bad decision. I mean, it happens. Aiden O'Connell has never lost a game for the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell's QBR is 85.2. Aiden O'Connell, in his first 17 games, is better than C.J. Stroud, is better than, better than Peyton Manning, better than Joe Burrow, better than Josh Allen, better than Lamar Jackson, better than Jalen Hurts, better than Sam Darnold, who's killing it right now, better than Baker Mayfield. And in fact, Arnie Garza, I challenge you, if you can find me a quarterback in the NFL in his first 17 games that has better stats than Aiden O'Connell, that wasn't a first round pick, bro, because I want to know what guys are better. Find me one. So we all go by wins and losses for a quarterback in the NFL, but a quarterback doesn't win and lose games. The only time a quarterback wins a game is when the game's on the line and you have a chance to come back and win in the fourth quarter. Then, yeah, you won the game. But you also had an offensive line, receivers, running back, right? So the win-loss total shouldn't matter for Aiden O'Connell. What should matter is on a bad team, you had a quarterback making $1.4 million that is outplayed Jimmy Garoppolo, that is outplayed Garbage Minshew, that is outplayed Geno Smith, making $1.4 million. He has better stats, better numbers, more touchdowns, less sacks, less turnovers, less fumbles than all of those guys. That should be the only thing talked about, not his record. Because Aiden O'Connell is a damn good quarterback on a shit team, just like Derek Carr. What's Derek Carr's record? But who holds the record for the most fourth quarter comebacks in the NFL? I do believe it's Derek Carr. Their defense was ranked in the 20s every single year with Derek Carr. If he one time had a top 10 or a top 15 defense, you don't even have to have a top 5, right? Like the Patriots did almost every year with with Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady had a top 10 defense every single year. It's why Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Derek Carr had a top 10 defense never in 9 years, but was always in the top 5 of every category in the NFL his whole entire career. But we look at wins and losses. It doesn't make sense to me. I would teach AOC how to long snap. Man, if Simpson comes out, that's my QB pick. He's a dog, bro. He's a dog. But here's my thing with Ty Simpson. Tom Brady says he wants a guy that's been in the trenches. He wants a guy that doesn't flip-flop from school to school. He wants a guy that, even though he struggled, right, didn't transfer to another school. A guy like Aiden O'Connell, who was 8th on the depth chart and became a starter and was drafted 4th in the NFL. How many guys were 8th on their depth chart and got drafted in the NFL, period? Zero. He's the only dude that's ever started his collegiate career as an 8th string quarterback, ended up a starter, and made it to the NFL. There's a reason for that. You know who the greatest quarterbacks ever in the NFL had that nobody else had? They had great minds. Yes, they had an arm that can get the ball there, but they had great minds. They know how to study tape. They know when guys is lined up on this side of the receiver or this side of the receiver, change the play, right? Run a hot route. If you look at Brett Favre, if you look at, Joe Montana, none of these guys were physical athletes, right? Dan Marino, one of the greatest of all times. He knew how to beat people. because he knew how to read defenses. His pre-snap read, he already was decisive and knew, okay, I'm going to look at this progression and this progression, but I know this guy over here is going to be open. So I just need to give him time to get open. So I look over here. I look over here. I look and throw. Right? Quarterback is a mind game. It's always been the most intelligent position on the field. And if you don't have intelligence as a quarterback, I don't care if you're the best athlete on the planet, you're not going to be a damn good quarterback. You're not going to be a damn good quarterback, ever. No matter how fast you can run, no matter how far you can throw the ball. Look at Anthony Richardson. That dude is sitting behind Riley Leonard, who I said the Raiders should have took in the second round. He got taken in the fifth. He's sitting behind Daniel Jones as a second over a guy that was a first-round pick in Anthony Richardson, man. Football is crazy, but it's an intelligent sport at the quarterback position. And the guys that have the most intelligent, that have the highest, scored the highest on their test, that have the highest brain capacity, that can remember the most, those are the dudes that are successful in the NFL. It's never been the dude that was strongest. It's never been the dude that was fastest. It's never been the dude with the best arm. It's always been the smartest football player. Look at Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the NFL. He's not the fastest. He's probably the slowest quarterback in the NFL. But every single year, he's top 5 in rushing yards. Why? Because he's methodical. He knows when to run. He doesn't just say, oh shit, the pocket's collapsing, run. Nah, bro. He picks and chooses when he runs. He only runs when everybody's 20 yards downfield and he knows I could pick up 20 yards walking, right? Now it's time to run. If you're not a smart quarterback, bro, you're not going to make it in. Look at my guy over there, Taylor Green. I hate to say it, but Taylor Green from Arkansas. Dude could throw the ball the whole entire field. He's 6'6". He jumped for a touchdown from the 10-yard line today. Somehow didn't get hurt. The dude is an athletic freak, but he throws to the wrong positions. He doesn't know how to read cover 3. He doesn't know how to read cover 2. He doesn't know where the defenders are going to be. He doesn't know where the window is to throw the ball. And no matter how athletic you are, bro, it's never going to work. So Tom Brady wants guys that have been in the NFL, been in college football, and have taken it, played at least 30 games. Minimum, right? They play what, 12, 13 games? How many games do you play in college football? 11, 12 now? I forgot. But 12 games? So 3 years, right? That's above 30 games. You look at guys like Bo Nix, right? Why does Bo Nix have success in the NFL? Because he's seen every defense there is. He knows how to read defenses. He knows pre-snap read. He knows how to change and check in and out of plays and to check to the right plays. It's not about checking out of a play. It's checking into the right play because you know what play is going to beat the defense. And that is Tom Brady's biggest thing. So I don't know if a guy like Ty Simpson is going to be on that list, or Lenora Sellers, or any of these guys, right? Even, Fernando Mendoza. All these guys don't meet Tom Brady's criteria. A guy that will meet his criteria, like I talked about on X, Rippin' and Flippin' knows, I posted a couple days ago, there might be a new Derek Carr very soon playing for the Raiders. 2 days later, Tom Brady comes out. They post about Tom Brady saying, oh, Carr is, one of the best quarterbacks I've seen since Joe Burrow. That's a pretty high praise from Tom Brady. But if you're looking at a guy like Carr, right? CJ Carr, who Tom Brady played for his grandfather at Michigan. John Spytek played for his grandfather at Michigan. There are ties with CJ Carr. The problem is CJ Carr is not eligible this year. He is eligible next year. But if he wants to meet that criteria of a Tom Brady quarterback with at least minimum 30 starts, right? He needs to wait until 2008. What happens in 2008? If he's not fired already, Pete Carroll's contract's up. Chip Kelly's contract's up. Spytek will have 2 more years left on his contract. I feel like the Raiders might be ass for the next 2 years. I feel like they might purposely keep Geno Smith and Pete Carroll just so they have somebody to point the finger at that says, oh, we're going to hit the ground running and win a bunch of games. Bro, I don't think they are. I think they're looking to the future. I think for the next couple years, the Raiders are going to be ass. I think we're going to pile up draft picks. We're going to get an offensive line. We're going to get a number 1 receiver. We're going to get a top linebacker in this draft, right? And then when Pete Carroll is all said and done, if he makes it through this year, which I hope to God he doesn't at this point, I feel like that's the plan, bro. I feel like that's the plan. I don't see the Raiders taking a quarterback this year. And, you know, maybe possibly they take one next year. But I don't see that either. I don't see that either. If I'm the Raiders, if it's me, Aiden O'Connell's got 1 more year left. 1 more year. You play him the rest of this year. You play him all of next year. And if he's as bad as everybody in Raider Nation says, then we should have the first pick in the draft, right? If Aiden O'Connell sucks as bad as everybody says, we should be worse than we are this year. That's not going to happen. but we should be, right? We should be. So there's a big, huge possibility that the Raiders in Vegas roll the dice and hope to God that we're still shit in 2 years and get CJ Stroud. I mean, CJ Carr. It's a very big possibility, bro. Very big possibility. Here's what I got from Gronk. What? Hold on. I find you controversial. What? Okay. Okay. Super need. Appreciate it. I'm not even going to read that. The Las Vegas Raiders have until December 2025 to decide on Aiden O'Connell's status as a third-year player on injured reserve. He fractured his wrist in the possession. He has 21 days. It's already been 17, bro. Right? Right? He could have started. Make sure I'm straight. He could have started at Kansas City, right? He could have started at Kansas City. They waited until the following week, so they brought him up. They brought him off the practice squad during the bye week. So that 21 days, I think, is Thursday. Gronk might not be correct, but he might be smarter than me. I don't know. But I believe it's Thursday. I think Thursday is the deadline where they have to put him on IR, keep him on IR, or put him on the roster. Oh, my God, that is a hell of a throw by Ty Simpson. Over the shoulder. Wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness, bro. I like Ty Simpson more and more, bro. More and more. I don't find you conventionally attractive, but I'd consider keeping you around for a bit. That's good. I mean, as long as you're going to keep me around. Man, AOC scares me every time he's out there. I feel like he's going to get hurt. Even if he would take a winning knee, I feel it would be an injury. I mean, I feel the same way. But it's fun, right? It's at least worth watching. He hits the receivers. And if you give the kid time, AOC would kill in the NFL. The problem is we don't have a great offensive line. And the kid's numbers, bro, are better than Daniel Jones. Look, Daniel Jones this year, in his first 9 starts, had 65 yards more than Aiden O'Connell, had 2 more touchdowns, and had taken 6 less sacks. Aiden O'Connell, in his first 9 games as a rookie, numbers were almost identical to Daniel Jones this year. who we all know what Daniel Jones is doing for the Colts. He's murdering it. Aiden O'Connell, in the 9 games he played last year. 9 games? 8 games? Whatever. In the 8 games he played last year, his numbers are identical to Daniel Jones. They are better than Sam Darnold's. They are better than Baker Mayfield's. They are better than everybody but Drake May. But that's it. So, yeah, I mean, the kid is scary, but he's a pocket quarterback. His job is to stand in the pocket and throw the ball, and the offensive line and the offensive coordinator's job is to get the ball out fast. Aiden O'Connell can do that. He has a quick release. We seen, if you watch this channel and you was with me through the preseason, how many videos did I show you? Aiden O'Connell, Geno Smith, getting the ball at the same time, taking the same amount of drop. Aiden O'Connell had the ball out faster than Geno Smith every time during camp. He has a quicker release. He's more decisive. He's not afraid to let it rip, bro. He will lead guys, open. He'll throw guys open. And when you have a quarterback that's willing to throw the ball before a guy even breaks, that's how you win games, bro. That's how you move the football. Is you got to have a quarterback that plays with anticipation. Geno Smith wants to wait for everything to develop. For 14 years, he's been doing the same shit. Practice window around October 29, 2025. This gives him until about December 19th or 20th to activate him to the 53-man roster, release him, trade him, or return him to season-ending IR if activated. All right, well, at least they have till the 25th. I thought it was till Thursday. And I could be wrong again, but everything I read said they had 21 days from when they brought him back, right? He had a 20-day window, which has already been, this is week 3. So the only competition on our roster is JPJ with Kappa. Yeah, this whole compete shit has been garbage. There's been no competition. There has been no compete. There was no competition in camp. Jamal Adams handed his job, didn't compete for it. Alandon Roberts handed his job, didn't compete for it. Devin White, Jermaine Pratt, Eric Stokes, Kai Blue Kelly, right? Alex Kappa. All these guys were handed their jobs. Jordan Meredith was handed the center position. He didn't have a battle with JPJ. It lasted 1 week, and they moved JPJ to the left guard battle, then to the right guard battle. There was no battle between Jordan Meredith. They just handed people positions. Pete Carroll came in and said, you're this position, you're this position, and if it fails, it fails. But that's what we're rocking with. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Compete for the backup role behind Geno. Otherwise, they might trade him before the season ends or cut him and try to claim him off waivers to the practice squad. If they put Aiden on the practice squad, he's gone, bro. The first day. He won't even play one practice. I promise you. I promise you, bro. No face Raider. Grandpa Pete doesn't know what he wants to do with the Raider players. I think he wants to know what he wants to do, but he just doesn't know how to do it with the right guys. I think that's been the whole problem this whole offseason, and the season was you're preaching compete, but there's no competition, right? We all know the guys were better than the guys that are starting. Guys have played better than the guys that are starting. Guys are cheaper, but you're going with the guys that you paid money to. The presser I just watched was the best ever. He kept OT short and didn't tell us bullshit. What? I'm about to rewatch that presser. Rebel, do you think AOC would look in a cheerleader outfit? Fuck you, bro. Follow me on Instagram. I'll show you exactly what he would look like in a cheerleader outfit. The same kind of Josh McDaniels. Calling now, right? Jack Ken in the building. Appreciate you, my guy. Um, I hope we don't get Kyler Murray. God, we need to fix our line secondary. And you know what? Like, bro, I don't know how Mitchell Wren still has a show. Like, this dude has ran off every good player we had. He's the reason Devontae Adams got traded. He's the reason they didn't keep Hunter Renfro. He's the reason they traded fucking Gabe Jackson. He's the reason they traded Rodney Hudson. He's the reason they got rid of Derek Carr. He's fucking, dude. This dude is a clown, bro. I don't know how y'all still support this shit, bro. He's been the reason they got rid of Josh Jacobs in free agency. The reason they moved on from Spillane. The reason they got rid of Amik Robinson. The reason, dude. That dude has been the reason they got rid of every fucking thing, and now he's pushing Kyler Murray to the Raiders. Man, that shit irritates the hell out of me, bro. Dang, you got good hair. Appreciate it. Not bad for 50, right? Not bad for 50. Appreciate it, Jack Kenna. Why are you not wearing Raiders hat, Rebel? I don't think I've ever seen you without a hat. I don't know. I just felt like letting my hair blow in the breeze today. I don't know. I had a Razorback hat on, but it's somewhere across the other side of the room. I threw that bitch, and I just didn't feel like putting a hat on. Oh, and something bit the hell out of my ear right here. That's another reason. Hit them likes, double tap the screen, help me out. Raiders are trash. Bling ching. Okay. Tell us something we don't know, man. At least come in here with better facts than that. We already know that. Give us something that we don't know. Every draft pick needs to be O-line and D-line, laughing my ass off. I wouldn't hate on it, but then who's going to play linebacker? We need a linebacker. If the Raiders would have listened to me and drafted just half the players on the 15 draft boards or mock drafts that I did, we'd be in the playoffs right now. We'd be in the playoffs right now. They could have had Jahad Campbell, the best linebacker in all of football right now, and the highest graded rookie. They could have had guys like Savion Williams, Nick Eamon-Wari. They could have had like Nick Eamon-Wari playing safety, right? You could have had, oh my God, bro, so many guys. They could have had Jalen Higgins. Just, bro, so many dudes. Gray Zabel, right? We could have got all those dudes. Very easily. But yeah, man, we got too many holes to go offensive line. If you just go offensive line, that just tells me that Geno's gonna be back, and you're gonna try to bring Geno back to do better against a better offensive line. I think it's a bad year. Just wait until 2000 when all the Raiders stars leave. I hear you, rip it and flip it. I hear you. I posted on X, and if you don't follow me on X, it's RaidersRebel_. Follow me on X, like my shit, share it. I'm trying to grow on there also. But I post on there like all day long. Break time, shit. Sometimes I get a message, I just stop what I'm doing, and I go post on there. So go check it out. But I said this too, man. Brock Bowers, we're on his second year of his 4-year, 5th-year option, right? We're on JPJ's second year of his 4-year option. We're on DJ Glaze, second year of his 4-year option. We are on all these rookies, second year. We've wasted talent for 2 years now. Wasted talent for 2 years. Not putting a team or building a team around these guys and bringing in shit quarterbacks year in and year out for ridiculous prices. When no matter how much you guys hate Aiden O'Connell, this is all anybody's fault that didn't want Aiden O'Connell to play. Really. We could have got our linebackers, our offensive line, our receivers. We could have had all that last year, this year, on the $100 plus million the Raiders have spent on quarterbacks in the last 2 years. For 18 touchdowns and 28 interceptions. Oh my God, bro, that hurts to say. Question: other than Genty, Bowers, Colton Miller, who is our next best player for the future? Jonah Laulu. I would say Jonah Laulu is a guy for the future. Darian Porter is going to be a stud. I said this, and I said this. The dude's talent is, ridiculous, and Pete Carroll is actually absolutely killing it, killing these guys' talents. Damn, y'all gonna have to hold on. I gotta piss. Talk to the bear. Whew, I think I almost died. I think I lost a stomach. Holy Jesus. Golly, never had a piece so bad in my life. So man, we got some players. I think Charles Grant is going to be a stud in this league. I think Caleb Rogers is going to be a stud in this league. Like, what pisses me off about the most about Caleb Rogers, and I know Arnie Garza, like Lawrence, the guys that are in here, are used to being here all the time. Y'all know I talked about it all the time, right? I said Caleb Rogers should be a starter by like week 3 or 4, and JPJ should be at center, right? It didn't work out like that. But Caleb Rogers, when in his interview, he said, "I'm not used to this, right? I'm not used to this. I'm used to starting every game." He started every game his whole entire career. You come to the NFL and you're a backup behind guys like Alex Kappa. So if he does get in tomorrow, watch Caleb Rogers to just wreck shit. I'm looking for a huge game for this kid. I think he has a big chip on his shoulder, and he strikes me as a guy kind of like me, right? When you get an opportunity, you ain't going to let that shit go by. You're going to do everything, you're going to bleed and die for that opportunity. And I think if they put him on the field, he's not getting off. And I think that's why Pete Carroll has not put him out there yet, because he knows. Same thing with, putting in a quarterback when Geno was hurt. If you put in these other guys that want it more than the guys that you're putting out there, it's going to look bad on him. So I think the Raiders have talent, man. They have talent. There's some guys in this draft that we're still forgetting about. Cody Lindenberg, right? It's not that he's a bad player. We got bad coaching that want to stick with the Landon Roberts and, Devin White, who you can't cover to save his ass, bro. So there's still some guys on this roster. There are a lot of guys on this practice squad that I forgot were even on the practice squad. I go back and watch my live from a couple days ago. I named all the guys on the practice squad that aren't getting snaps, like Travian Mae, another 320-pound defensive lineman with huge upside, right? His get off is quicker than anybody I've seen. It's like Max Crosby. Like, if you watch this dude in preseason and go back and watch it, I encourage you, go back and watch Trevin May preseason all 22s, man. Not a lot of snaps, but when he was out there, he was wrecking shit. Same thing with Tonka Hemingway, right? So I think this was a good draft. I think it's just a bad coaching staff that doesn't believe in playing rookies or giving rookies the opportunity, because he believes that the guys he brought in should be the guy, and they're failing him. They're failing him drastically, bro. I think they be spinning Grandpa's piece. That's fucked up. Hearing a lot about Carr in 2027. Is that real? It's very real. It's very real. It's very real. When you have Spytek, who is your general manager, when you have a minority owner in Tom Brady that played for his grandfather at Michigan, yes, there's a big chance. When you hear Tom Brady compare CJ Carr to Joe flipping Burrow, yeah, bro, there's a huge chance. But the only problem I see with that, is if you're the Raiders, are you really? Okay, this is a stupid question. I thought about it before I said it, and now it doesn't make sense. But I'm going to continue to say it. If you're the Raiders, do you really think you're going to have a top 5 pick next year? Do you really think you're going to have a top 5 pick the following year? And if you really think that, and you're running this organization, please get the fuck out. Please get out of the organization. Just retire and quit. Because yes, I do believe we need a rebuild. And I do believe they need to do a public rebuild, not a behind-the-scenes rebuild like Spytek, I believe, is doing right now. I feel like Spytek is behind the scenes, trying to go behind Pete Carroll's back and set up for the future, right? If you look at the Geno contract, if you look at the contract of all the one-year deals of everybody that Pete Carroll has brought in, they will all be gone next year, except Geno. But there's a way to get out of Geno's too. So I think Pete Carroll and Tom Brady, behind the scenes, I think they have a plan, man. I think they have a plan. I think they're quietly rebuilding, for the future. And I think they're going to continue to do that, right? I think I even have some conspiracy theories that I'm going to be Hondo Carpenter right now, right? Maybe I'll get more views. Maybe everybody follow me. I'm going to be Hondo Carpenter right now. I have a theory that I really believe is what's going on in Las Vegas. But I can't tell you until after the season because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But somebody remind me. I'm going to tell you my theory. Just remember, it has to do with Tom Brady and it has to do with Chip Kelly. And if I'm right, which I have a damn good feeling I am, y'all are not going to like it. Y'all are not going to like it. You are going to hate it. You are going to hate it so bad. I wouldn't mind Lackey Tassie. I would love to see Lackey Tassie. But I just don't think a guy that's never played football before in the NFL, after 10 games in a training camp is ready. We've seen in the preseason, in the offseason, in the preseason games, he looked pretty good, right? He looked pretty good. He's a big body. If you run behind him, you should be able to run the ball as far as he can stay in front of you, right? There's nobody tackling that dude or moving that body, right? 6'8", 340. And that's another reason. Everybody's like, who was it? Rip It and Flip It or Lawrence? One of y'all said the draft next year needs to be offensive line, right? I do believe we need a first-round talent. I would love to see like a Joe Alt type dude, right? Or even Will Campbell over there for the Patriots, right? I would love to see one of these big-ass physical dudes, Marvin Mimbou, right? I would love to see a first-round tackle. But if you look at the Raiders behind the scenes, right, the guys that aren't getting any talk right now, it's Charles Grant, it's Caleb Rogers, it's Lackey Tassie, it's Mafi, whatever, right? Another guy that's 6'4", 320 pounds. So we have some offensive linemen that could very well be Pro Bowl type guys that are already on the roster. So what do we do in this draft, right? If they believe in the offensive line that we already have, if they see the signs of developing, we do have one of the best offensive line, guys of all time, and Joe Philbon in the building. So if you got a guy like Philbon in the building, right, these guys, their mindset's not ruined. They didn't get thrown to the fire like JPJ, like DJ Glaze, and have to start their rookie year. They're on the sidelines. Well, at least one of them is, part of the time learning learning the NFL, learning the speed, right? And I think this could be. I very well think this could be um, the route we're gonna go, right? If you move on from Colton Miller, which you just signed him to a huge ass contract, it doesn't make no sense. But he doesn't have to play, right? You could be a top paid, left tackle and just be that leader in the building. I wouldn't be mad, keeping an Oakland Raider around to help groom these guys, even if he's not playing. I wouldn't be mad at that. So I really feel like that's the direction we're moving. I think, I really think there's some tanking going on behind the scenes, and I think it has to do with Tom Brady and Chip Kelly. I really do. I really do. I really do. Oh my God! You gotta throw that ball, Ty Simpson. And see, then you have that shit right there. Then you have that shit right there. When I look at that play right there from Ty Simpson, holding the ball, gets smacked, and now it's a fumble and it's a turnover to Oklahoma. Right? That's your quarterback you want in the first round? I've never seen Aiden O'Connell make a stupid play like that. I've seen him stand in the pocket and take hits, but I've never seen him hold the ball until he gets hit and it fumbles out of his hands, bro. He tries to get rid of it. So, experience. Aiden O'Connell with 3 years has more experience than any of these college kids that's going to come out. And if you want to have the best opportunity to win, you put that kid in and you go spend all that money we have in the offseason next year, and I promise you this team is 10 times better than we were. Raider fan for life with the 199. Raiders! Bling, try me. 100. True bling. Don't mess with my mods, bro. They snipe. Get them if you got it, Jack Kenna. Predictions: what game will Pete finally start another quarterback? He's not, bro. He's not. I told you this at the beginning of the season. I don't know why. I just talked to hear myself talk, but I told y'all, with every ounce of blood in my body and every feeling that I had, Pete Carroll does not bench Geno Smith. If you hear the way he talks about him, how could you possibly even think that it's even a consideration for Pete Carroll to bench Geno? Geno is the guy the rest of the season, unless he gets hurt and he cannot continue. Like I said 4 months ago, when they drafted, the day they signed him, the same day they signed ink to the paper, I was live and I said, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. You don't bring in a guy that your coach has feelings for. It's not going to end well. And it hasn't ended well. Rebel, what is your season so far grade on Jordan Meredith? For a first time playing center, I mean, if you look at the rookies in the NFL playing center, his numbers are just as good, right? He's only had 1 year in the NFL where he played more than 6 games, and that was last year at right guard. So I think I'd give him a B. I'd give him a B minus, a B plus. I'd give him a B plus, or maybe just a flat B. I don't know, but I'd give him a B. Right? I've seen plays where he looks lost. That's a product of your coaching. I've seen plays where he goes the wrong way. That's a product of your coaching. But I've seen for the last 3 weeks, this man start to become a monster at center, right? He's moving bodies. He's opening up the run game. They don't ever run up the middle, but he's doing well. So for a UDFA, undrafted free agent to come in and be the highest graded player on your offensive line last year at an 80 overall, run blocking and pass blocking, to get moved from the position that he dominated to center and to play the way he's played, I mean, you can almost say it's an A. But with the mistakes, I have to give it a B. Chip is next to get fired. Um, yeah, because you have to point the finger at somebody, right? And if they do, who's gonna be the OC? Nathan Carroll? Mark my words. Mark my words. Mark my words. You heard it here first. Raiders Unleashed, where you hear everything first. But I'm telling you, bro. Watch for Nathan Carroll to be the guy if Chip Kelly gets fired. But I don't see Chip Kelly getting fired. I think Chip Kelly's got an in. I think he is anchored to this team. And again, I can't talk about it now because I don't want to hurt the team and I don't want to get anybody in trouble. And I think it might. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Run the ball, quick snap to Bowers, right? It's 100%. See, Bobby gets it. Shout out to my guy, Bobby. Bobby gets it. First comment, right off the bat, hit it, right? Raiders and Browns, place where careers die. Fact, man, fact. Fact. You don't draft a guy like Brock Bowers unless you have a team where he can dominate. You don't draft a guy like Ashton Genty unless you have a team where he can dominate, right? And I'll go even farther. You don't draft a quarterback until you have everything in place. Look what the Broncos did. Look what the Giants, okay, the Giants did have everything in place. But at least they took a quarterback that had been in the same school for 3 years, that knew a system. They knew he could go up on the board and write any play they want, you know, and memorize that shit like that. That's why Jackson Dart's killing it in the NFL right now. Experience. Right? We belong in town. Right? Bang, bang. Wrong place. Greedy ass Oakland. Right? Simpson is a good pick for QB. I mean, he's all right. Like I said, but that experience, bro. That experience. Only had a true home field advantage in Oakland. I mean, we had one in LA. It's the Captain Kangaroo curse. Frank Weber in the building. What's good, my guy? This line is our key. Great line. Everything will fall in place. Knees duts. I don't believe that's the case. Gino, again, for the 100th time, has had more time to throw the ball than any quarterback in the NFL this year. I know it doesn't look like it because he panics and, you know, steps into sacks and makes the offensive line look horrible. But when he's had time to throw the ball, they've been inaccurate. They've been high. They've been thrown on the ground. Like, it doesn't matter how good your offensive line is if you don't have a quarterback that has confidence in himself, in the team, in the offensive play calling, and the receivers. And Gino doesn't have any of that. So this whole line is not going to fix us, bro. I would put my left nut and right nut on it. You can take Geno Smith right now, pluck him out of this offense, and put him back in Seattle where Sam Darnold is killing it. Put him with the Colts. Put him with the Patriots. And they're the same team as the Las Vegas Raiders. And I will put everything I love on that shit. You can put Geno Smith with any team in the NFL right now, and he is not any better. Not any better. You can tell by his pre-snap actions. You can tell by the motion. You can tell by the way he walks on the field. You can tell by his press conference. This dude, O-line is not going to help him, bro. O-line would help Ashton Genty. It would help the shit out of Ashton Genty, but it's not going to help Geno. We need to invest in offensive line, both in the draft and free agency. High picks at a high price. See, Arnie Garza's back on the same thing. I don't think that's the case. I mean, you can draft him, and then what? And then what? You have 2 third-round picks like Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant that you're not going to get anything for because they've never had any play time, and nobody knows what they're getting. They don't know if the guys have developed in that system, and you just wasted a third-round pick. Right. We have to use these high players to see what we have the rest of the season. They need to be out there the rest of the season. We have to evaluate every player we drafted this year and last year, right? DeCamarion Richardson needs to be on the grass. Who else? Um, Tommy freaking Eichenberg needs to be on the grass. Cody Lindenberg needs to be on the grass. JJ Pegues, Tonka Hemingway, everybody that was drafted last year, this year, and the year before need to be on the grass the rest of the season. It's not about wins anymore. It's about seeing where we are for the future. That is the only thing we have to play for. So if we just say we're going into the draft to get an offensive lineman, what happens if we draft that offensive lineman, in the first round, and Charles Grant turns out to be better than him next year and the year after and the year after that? You have to be smart. You have to be methodical in the NFL, bro. You can't just draft guys and keep drafting guys and keep drafting guys when you never seen what you get out of the guys we have, like Aiden O'Connell, like Tonka Hemingway. Sorry, I was looking at his play. Like Tommy Eichenberg, like Decamarion Richardson, right? Chris Smith, bro. Chris Smith has been on this team for 4 fucking years. The dude's played like 3 snaps in the NFL. Come on, man. He's gonna go to another team one of these years, probably the end of this year or next year, and watch Chris Smith be the best safety in the NFL. Watch Decamarion Richardson go to an NFL team and start right away. Like Jacorian Bennett was doing. like Amik Robinson did as soon as he got to Detroit, right? The Raiders, we don't need to draft. We don't need to draft. We need to figure out the coaching. We need to figure out the general manager, and just let these players do their thing until we figure that out. Because we don't know what we have in Spytek, right? We haven't seen any of the players he's drafted. We know what we had in Tom Telesco. We let Tom Telesco go that had really a damn good draft. A damn good draft. One of the best drafts we've had in many, many years. And we let him go before he got a chance to see how his players develop. And we're going to do the same thing with Pete Carroll. But Pete Carroll does not have an eye for talent, bro. If you look at this roster, if you look at the guys he let go, Amari Gaynor, Jeremiah Pratt, right? Jacorian Bennett, Jack Jones. Look at all the guys that Pete Carroll has let go and tell me that dude knows talent. I don't want him drafting anybody in this draft. He was there this year. He could have went and got Nick Eamon-Wari, which fits everything he does. With the offense line now have as many times we went over 100 yards rushing since last season. Wait, with the offensive line, how many times have we went over 100 yards since last season? Last season we had 100-yard game. This year, I think we've been over 100 yards rushing 3 times. Maybe twice. I know the Chicago game. But Genty hasn't had an over 100-yard game once. It's been, it's been Genty, it's been Gino, it's been Trey Tucker on reverses, right? That's where most of our shit has been coming from. So not many. Soul Snatcher was good. Appreciate you. Hey, fuck the Raiders, homie. Nice. Dodgers all day. I'm a Dodgers fan too. Lakers fan, Kings fan. Dodgers are committed to excellence while the Raiders are committed to mediocrity. That's rough, bro. That's rough. It's rough. It's rough. John Brown, what's your problem, big dog? Probably tired of losing. Probably tired of rooting for a shitty ass team, bro. Question with Mark Davis best hire. What is Mark Davis best hire since he was our owner? Damn, y'all gonna make me smoke on that. Has he had one?
Has he had one? I think AP at the time was a smart move. Um, but then you brought in Tom Telesco to overmine and overrun everything he was trying to do. You know, I think if you would have left Chip Kelly with AP, I think he would still be the coach. So at the time, I think that was an okay decision. Um, I think trading for Devontae was a damn good move. But I mean, I can't think of any. I could think of a million bad moves, right? Letting Devontae go, not getting anything for Derek Carr, letting Josh McDaniels come in and ruin this team, letting Pete Carroll come in and ruin this team. So um, I'm gonna have to go with Tom Brady, bro. I think letting Tom Brady buy into this team, you know, be a minority owner. Um, Talks are Mark Wahlberg will be, you know, minority owner pretty soon. Also, you're trying to get Mark Wahlberg in the building. So I think it's got to be Tom Brady. That's really the only thing that I could see that's happened. I mean, he wasn't involved in the draft. He probably wasn't involved in bringing Patrick Graham back. So I don't know. Nothing really, I guess. Does it make you feel good insulting someone's looks when they're talking about football? Yeah, it makes trolls good, man. It makes trolls good. As long as they feel good, bro. I'll be the blunt of your jokes as long as it makes you feel better. Piece of shit. Um, Raiders are not beating Dallas. You don't know. You don't know. Field generals. We don't have none of those. We don't have none of those, bro. Um, I wasn't no physical athlete, you fools. What? Who said Dan Marino was a physical athlete? Nobody said that. Mendoza and Sellers, I believe, need to stay in college for at least one more year. I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. I hope we keep AOC. I believe in AOC. We all owe AOC an apology. Not me, bro. I don't owe AOC shit. He owes me, you know, some money for for constantly keeping his name alive in the nation. Shit. Coach compete is no trash, bro. Um, are you saying JPG didn't beat out Parham? Yeah, I'm saying JPG didn't beat out Parham because Parham's still playing, right? If JPJ beat out Parham, he would be our starting left guard, and Parham would be the right guard. But instead, JPG couldn't beat out Meredith. JPJ didn't beat out Parham. And according to the coaches, he didn't beat out Kappa because Kappa's still in the fight and it's always been in it. So, you know, Dusty Oreo, what's good? So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think JPJ has all the talent in the world, but I think he's highly, highly overrated in Raider Nation for the little that he's done, right? And does he deserve to start? I mean, I think so. I thought he deserved to start at center, but we'll see, man. AOC's wife doesn't even want him playing. Stop being foolish. Shit, stop playing. Yes, she does. um. Oh yeah, I had to go pee, man. Damn, I'm that far behind. Stepped away to empty the tank. Yes, I was dying, bro. My eyes were literally watering. There was tears running down my face. I was sitting here shaking my legs. I was doing everything I can. So I had to go. Pin in the building. What's good? What's good? Where's Candy? I hope she's okay. Is she not streaming? I don't know. I told her I was going live. You should message her. Make sure she's all right. Chip Kelly leaving the Eagles was the best decision ever. See? Even a female knows that Chip Kelly is ass. Can you sing My Little Sister River happy birthday? She likes your videos. Why does your little sister like my videos? I don't know if I'm singing happy birthday, but I'll say happy birthday. Happy birthday, little sister. You want a name? Can I get a name? But I'm not singing for nobody, bro. I'm not. Happy birthday to you. That's all you get. Someone wants you to sing, Rebel. I seen that. I'm not singing happy. You have to super chat for that, bro. You got to super chat. That's all there is to it. I'll say happy birthday. I'll give shout outs. But you got to pay me to sing. Geno Smith ain't no Raider. He's a Pete project. 100% Henry Mack. 100%. And that project should be done and over with by now, dude. Mike Mayer and Browns is a modern Casper and Bolitnikov. We need a snake at quarterback. Geno ain't no snake. He is kind of a snake. It's just not the kind you're talking about. I'm just saying. How long is our offensive play calling? How long as our offensive play calling is predictable? We don't really know what we have on that side of the ball. I mean, it's fact, right? We don't know what Ashton Jeanty could be because they won't run him outside. They want to run him up the middle. We have no idea what we have in Raheem Mostert except for he's been explosive, you know, in one game running the ball, right? So y'all got me on here for 3 hours. I gotta go on here and smoke cigarette or something. Smoke some trees too. But yeah, man, you know, an experienced coach is not gonna sit up there and tell you blah 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 blah. Sound like the damn oh come on, man, fucking dork. Whew. What's that sunset look like? You know, sit up here and tell you, like Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. That's what I hear every time Pete Carroll talks. Wah, 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 wah. But yeah, man, predictable play calling, horrible play calling, game management has been horrible. The way you win in the NFL is you take the ball out of the other team's hand. The Raiders seem to think by giving the team the other ball more, that is a recipe for success. And I was so wrong about Pete Carroll, man. I really thought, you know, with his experience, with his knowledge of the game, with his knowledge of personnel, that we would be way different, man. And I apologize, like, if I gassed anybody up, ruined anybody's, you know, year. But I really thought he was going to be different. I really thought this team was going to be different with Pete Carroll, but it is not. Tyler, what's good? What's good? Should have kept AP if we were going to tank again. You said it, my guy. You said it. I mean, 1,000%, right? Double tap that screen if you haven't already. I appreciate everybody. Show some love. Story of the Raiders' life, right? If they were going to tank last year, why not go with Aiden O'Connell? You know why? Because Aiden O'Connell is a dog. He's got that heart. He's not going to go out there and be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to throw the ball over here. Nah, bro, you couldn't pay that dude to throw a game, I don't believe. You couldn't pay that dude to throw a game. That's why Aiden O'Connell wasn't in there last year. They were like, man, if we put this kid in, we have a chance to win. This year, I have no idea why we didn't go with that dude. Absolutely don't know. Do I think ALC uses tampons? That's funny, Lawrence, because when he broke his wrist, he played the rest of the game with that broken wrist, bro. So how are you going to call dude a bitch and say he needs tampons when the dude broke his thumb? They said 6 weeks he would be out. He came back in 4, played a game. We should have won. The defense let us down. He hurt his knee. He was supposed to be out another 4 to 6 weeks. He came back the next week and played on a busted up knee. So, bro, you can say all you want about Aiden O'Connell and his weak, he's soft. Yeah, he's not athletic. Yeah, he's scary. Yeah, he gets injured a lot. But most of the time he's been injured, has been in the pocket, standing in the pocket, being a man, taking a hit, which Geno Smith has never done in his life, bro. So we can sit here and talk all this shit about Aiden O'Connell, but we all know damn well this team would have a winning record with Aiden O'Connell. It's obvious, bro. It's obvious. Brock Bowers, his best games were when Aiden O'Connell was in the game. Trey Tucker, his best games are when Aiden O'Connell's in the game. Jacoby Myers, his best games when he was a Raider were when Aiden O'Connell was in the game. Everybody we have on our roster, their best games have been with AOC, except for Brock Bowers last week. He got 2 weeks ago with Geno. But other than that, it's all been Aiden O'Connell, bro. All been Aiden O'Connell. There is still not a quarterback that y'all can find because, you know, I've challenged everybody that watches this, find me one better. Still not one better. Bro, with all due respect, we can get the Raiders, stay in one place, the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Lord have mercy. I mean, it's hard for a franchise to move around that much, right? From Oakland to LA, back to Oakland, then to Vegas. It's going to set any team back, right? When you move, even in a state, when you move that much, it's going to set teams back, man. And we got a long way to go before we ever catch back up to all the mistakes we made to set us back, right? You let Del Rio go. We're still making up for that, right? You brought back Gruden. Then he got fired because of emails, right? We're still making up for that. You let Bisaccia walk. That, you know, that could have worked out. We never know. We moved on from Devontae Adams, who's killing it still in the NFL at 33. Imagine where this team would be with Devontae Adams, with Hunter Renfrow and Brock Bowers. Come on, bro. Come on. Hunter Renfrow, Brock Bowers, and Devontae. It's an unstoppable offense. But, you know, all the fans, oh, he's a diva. He's a diva. No, he's not a diva. The dude wanted to win, and he wasn't happy with the decisions that were made in the building, like most fans aren't. But we don't call ourselves divas, right? We call Devontae a diva because he didn't want to play. No, he didn't want to play for a shitty quarterback. You can't disrespect the dude for that. Like, AP said, you're going to play in the preseason. He said, no, I'm not. And I told y'all then, Devontae will no longer be a Raider. Whether it was that year or the next year, he would no longer be a Raider, right? Bro, remember Napoleon Kaufman? He was explosive as hell. Napoleon Kaufman was a dog, dude. Just another example of another great player that we didn't know how to use, right? Didn't know how to use. Had no defense. Had a rough offense. We constantly hit home runs on players, and then we do nothing with the rest of the team around them, bro. And that's the same thing we've done with Aiden O'Connell. Whether people want to accept the fact or not, it is, bro. This team would be totally different if you just saved all your money on quarterbacks. I mean, we could have re-signed Robert Spillane. We could have re-signed Trayvon Moehrig, Nate Hobbs, all those dudes. That could have been going in, most of them going in their fourth year in the same defensive system. That's how you win Super Bowls. You keep the same players that are good players on a team, and you make a push. Instead, the Raiders do the opposite. Pete Carroll got rid of every player that was worth a shit from every coaching staff for the last 4 years. 4 years. Divine Diablo, Nate Hobbs, Marcus Epps, Amik Robinson. Like, dude. And that's not even, I mean, that's not even half the list, but that's part of it. Look at the Seahawks now since Grandpa Pete has stepped away. 100%, man. 100%. I think it's Geno Smith and Pete's issue right now. It's 100%, bro. It's 100%. When you have defensive players like Adam Butler, who's been in the NFL as long as he has, that comes out and say, we all see what's going on, the writing has been on the wall. It's been on the wall. There's favoritism in the building, and you're not going to get 110% out of guys that know no matter what they do, they're not going to get praise. And if they make one mistake, they could be on the bench. But a guy that can make mistake after mistake after mistake has no reprimandation or no consequences, bro. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. But man, Gino doesn't want to win. Gino got his bag and he's done, bro. He's done. I said as soon as they paid that dude, okay, shit, it's over, bro. Over. He got his money. Why play? Why play? You're gonna ride off into the sunset. 34 years old with 50 something million dollars guaranteed for 12 interceptions. Only the Raiders could do that shit. Only the Raiders could do that shit. All right, man. I'm gonna get off here. I might be back on in a little bit for some UFC. If y'all watch fighting UFC, I'm gonna do some live play-by-play probably in a little bit. So I'm gonna get off here, smoke some trees, get ready. I appreciate everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Like the video. If you don't like the video, dislike the video. But I appreciate everybody. Much love as always. Raiders. Just get it right, baby. Peace.